Welcome to Good Money Moves, the show where we share tips and advice to help you feel financially empowered. Today we are talking all about financial literacy for kids, and I have with me today Danielle Sommerfeld from First Alliance Credit Union.
Yay! Thanks for having me, Jenna.
Yeah. Why don't you share just a little bit about yourself and what you do here at the credit union, and why you think financial literacy is so important for kids.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for having me. I'm so passionate about this. Danielle Sommerfeld with First Alliance Credit Union. I'm currently the community lending manager, so I get to work with a lot of our business members. Previously, I did work with the member experience team, managing our front line, which really got me engaged with a lot of the youth and financial literacy. And so I'm just really passionate about it. And been with the credit union for 6 years.
Yeah. Yay.
So, yay.
Well, awesome. I'm glad to have you here today with us.
Thank you.
So let's just start with talking, for those who may not be familiar with the term financial literacy, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah. So financial literacy can be used in a lot of different areas or a lot of different ways. Really what we consider it to be is like this financial toolbox for kids or people to use, but primarily when it comes to working with kids, we like to include lots of different terms. Like you could say budgeting. You could talk about different life skills, managing debt, saving. All of those things can be considered part of financial literacy. We like to make sure that we have, kids set up for success. That's a lot of our goal. With that, we can definitely help them try to build their wealth and find different ways for them to become successful. And we want to empower them so that they are confident in their ability to save and be successful, financially successful.
Yeah. So if I'm hearing you right, it sounds like financial literacy really covers a wide variety of topics, and even though some of them might not seem like things kids need to know about, like maybe paying off debt, there's a lot of basic skills that kids need to learn in order to get to that point as adults. And so for me, I know with my kids, I always wanted to instill in them, you need to save money. You can't just spend it on everything that you want. Every piece of candy, every ice cream truck that comes by, you can't just run out and spend everything, or you'll have nothing when you want something bigger.
Yeah.
And so setting a lot of those foundational skills from the get-go is, I think, for me, why it's always been important to talk about this stuff with my kids. And I know you probably feel the same way when it comes to your kids.
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm currently, I've got a 6-year-old who thinks that money just grows on trees. And so when I tell her, I have to go to work because I need to make money for us to, buy things or to go do things. And she's just like, oh. But it is really teaching them at a very young age of, how this works.
Yeah. What are maybe some, fun things that parents can do or that you do with your kids to help kind of teach them some of these, basic save, spend, share type skills as kids with the money that they maybe earn through an allowance or birthday money or, just, $5 that grandma gives them because they're just so cute,
I know. Yes. Oh, my daughter, she gets money for being fun. But there's some different apps that we like to use. So personally, we use Greenlight, which is an app. It's really fun. There's lots of tools that you can use within there for them to learn how to save. We play board games, which is really fun, Monopoly or Life. There are, some ways of showing them how to save money, but also spend money. There is debt that has to sometimes get involved with some of those games. And then, too, we like to just take them out to the stores with us. So they know, hey, here's real life examples of what we're doing. We're going to go to the store and you get $5. Now go figure out what you want to spend that on. And then, of course, the first item is usually $40. And we're like, well, that's not an option. You have $5.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun just to teach them, the real life experiences when you take them out and just be normal.
Yeah.
Have them involved.
Yeah, in the day-to-day, shopping experiences. Yeah, that's so funny because I remember the first time I ever let my youngest have money at the store to make that decision.
Yes.
And she just sat there just frozen, not sure what to do because she wanted both of these things so badly, but she could only have one of them. And that was just such it was painful to watch her have to go through that decision making, but it was such a good lesson for her. And she is actually like stuck with that lesson. And like we talk about it over and over again all the time now when she has to make those decisions, because we use Greenlight too. And so having that debit card that comes with that, she has even more access to that money and has to make those hard decisions on a more regular basis now that she's even a little bit older. So
yes, all the emotions.
Yeah. What do you suggest that parents do to help kids like save money? Like that's a hard one for kids to kind of wrap their minds around. Like, why I have it here, I want this, why can I not use it? And what are some maybe tips or things that you've used with your kids that have really helped kind of solidify the idea of saving money?
Yeah. Something that I actually grew up with was my parents, which, hi, but they were really great. They would actually help me save. So that's what I've kind of then now correlated with my family. So really one exciting way is that every time you get paid, or like a birthday, right? We talked about birthday, Christmas, any fun ways that your children get money, the parents actually can either take half or like put half of it into savings and then allow the other half to be spent or shared or saved. And so that kind of just teaches them that responsibility, but then also you show them how much money they have, right? Like, hey, we put this $10 in your savings and now you have 50. Like, look at this. Let's keep growing it. And you talk about it every month. Every month when they get their statement, or you log into their online, or you see their Greenlight, you say, this is your balance. Like, look at this. It's growing. You're earning more money, and make it be exciting.
Yeah, I love that. And I think too, like attaching a goal for why are you saving this money? You have like a bigger goal in mind. You have a bigger, toy or new game or something that you want that weekly $5 allowance isn't going to get you. But if you save that $5 over 4 weeks, all of a sudden you have 20, and now you might be able to afford that thing, and like showing them how that works. And I love the idea of showing them, like printing off a statement or even just pulling it up on your computer and going, look it, this is what you saved, this is what you spent. Oh yeah, and by the way, did you know by keeping your money in an account at the credit union, you earn a couple of extra cents every month too. And like that, when I showed my daughter that the first time, that blew her mind that the credit union would give her money just for keeping it there. So that's really, pennies goes a long way with kids. So
it's so true. It's so true.
What about like involving your kids in like financial decision making in the household? Do you ever like talk about like, oh, well, we're going to take this trip, or we're going to buy this thing because we saved for it, or because we have X, Y, and Z, or kind of talk about maybe some of those types of conversations you have, or that like friends or family have with their kids?
Yeah. We're very open about our budget at home. We talk about like, hey, we want to go on this trip, but then we'll talk about it for a couple of weeks, right? We plan out a trip. We're going to say, okay, we're going to book our flights, but we're going to wait, or we talk about what we want to have for an expense, or we want to go to Wisconsin Dells, right? That's an expense. It's a very expensive trip. And so it's like, you got to plan those out loud and talk to your children about it. Yeah, it's just fun. It's really fun to have them be involved with that.
Yeah. And those light bulb moments when they finally like understand and connect those dots, I think is huge. It's rewarding for parents too in that way.
It is. And it's fun to see them too. Like we think about like going to the store. I think about going to the store. And just, they always want to buy something. And it's just like, great. Always. And so, yeah, having that conversation of like, hey, you could get something today, or you could get something when we go out to dinner. We can go have dessert after we go do something. Hey, let's go grab ice cream or a smoothie versus buying this cheap toy or whatever it is that they want. Yeah. So really putting into play like what actually the cost of money is.
Yeah. And that hands-on experience, which kind of brings me back to Greenlight a little bit, because I know you use it with your kids. I use it with my youngest. I think it's an amazing tool, but like, how are you using that on a day-to-day?
Yeah, so Greenlight is awesome. It's an interactive tool. So there's abilities for your kids to log in or for you to log in, and they can play games. And they can like level up inside of the app, which is really fun and exciting. There's really great parental controls, which I appreciate. So I can load money onto a card that then she could go out and use. But it also allows me to then see real-time transactions. Like if she uses it at a store, if she goes somewhere with friends or grandma or to movies, whatever, we can see what she's using her money on. And then also too, it's chore-based, which is really cute. You can give them tasks and chores that they will do, and then you can assign a dollar amount to it. So there was a video actually we posted on our website. McKinley, my daughter, she was doing dishes, and she literally looked at me and said, "Mom, did you know people get paid to do this?" And I'm like, "Yes, honey, I did." So it just was a really, really cute way for her to actually, it was cute for me to realize that she's actually listening.
Yeah. Because sometimes you're not sure if they're listening.
No, but that also she wants to, earn money by doing chores.
Yes. Yeah. And I really like to, because obviously we use this with my 10-year-old, and her favorite thing to spend her allowance on, because she has daily chore and she has a once a week chore. So she has a couple different things that she has to do to earn her allowance every week. And so every week she wants to check her balance, and we go, okay, this is how much you have in your spending bucket. This is how much got put into savings, because that's another feature that I've really liked about that, is that you can split up and kind of force them to save some money instead of just spending the whole allowance. But she always is like, do I have enough to go get a bubble tea? She loves bubble tea. And so that is her way to treat herself when she's done a good job of saving money.
Oh, I love that. That's so awesome.
Yeah. So one of the other things, I know obviously First Alliance members have access to the Greenlight debit card app on us as a member. What are some of the other ways that our members can help their kids learn money management through the credit union's products and services? What are some things that come to mind?
So one other product that we use in our family is called the Wincentive savings account. We love it. So there's an opportunity each month for you to enter into, so if you deposit $25 4 times within a month, so up to $100 a month, you get entered into a drawing. And it's done by the state of Minnesota. And full disclosure, my 6-year-old has won $100 before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a great way for her to save, and you can access those funds once a year on the month of which you opened it, so your anniversary month. And truth be told, like, the fact that she won, she was just so ecstatic. So she won $100, and we put it right back into her savings so that she couldn't touch it. But then another way, too, is just having used CDs.
Yeah.
Our used CDs are phenomenal. You can add to them at any time. So it's a great opportunity, again, with Christmas, birthdays, whatever events, again, just being cute. You can take that cash and put it right into the CD at any time. So adding to it just keeps increasing their savings, which is great.
Yeah, that's a great point. I always forget about the youth CDs, but that is a really great tool. And what I also like about that as a way to help kids kind of learn to save is that it is kind of like locked up for that set amount of time. So if you know, in a year from now, you're maybe going to take a big family vacation and you want to make sure that they have a little extra spending money, that could be a really great way to set that up a year in advance and then maybe have them even slowly contribute to it over time, and then they kind of get that bigger return on investment because it is a CD, so that it does earn better yields than just a regular savings account, which is nice. Again, kind of helping them learn that power of compounding interest from a really young age, because I think that's a big key to helping kids really understand, like, why is saving so important? Because kids, like, they don't get, like, long-term thinking at all.
Yes.
And so the more rewards that you can give them for that, like, that delayed gratification, I think is just a huge component to setting them up for financial success.
For sure. Another just very simple task is looking at your coin jar. We just did this a couple weeks ago with our daughter, and it was so funny. We got the quarters out and realized that we had like $20 in quarters in her coin jar. And so we showed her like what a $20 bill was, and then like what $20 could get you. And just honestly not even realizing how much coin you can literally
Yes.
collect in such a short period of time. So it was really great for us to use that as a learning tool too.
Yeah, I love that idea because, I mean, that physicality of money, I think, for kids too is so important. Even though so much of what we do now is very digital, or using a debit card or a credit card as you get older. But like, I think having that initial physicality to learning money is still really important for kids.
Totally.
So that piggy bank is so important.
Yeah.
So important. I know my daughter has probably 3 or 4 First Alliance Credit Union piggy banks at home.
Yeah.
What's in them? I don't know if it's actually money, but she's got them displayed about her room, and she is very fond of all of them.
Same. Yeah, we have quite a few around our house too, so I get it.
What else should our listeners know about kids and money and teaching them to save, share, spend, and earn?
Honestly, I think it's never too early to start talking about it, or to get an account started. Honestly, if you have an infant, maybe you just had a baby, I mean, you can start an account when you get a social security number and a birth date. So come on in, open a savings account. It costs $5 to get started. And then from there, again, you can start with a CD, you can start with a savings, and just slowly get it going. $5 a month can make a huge difference. Whatever can fit into your budget, that you decide works for you and your family is going to be a benefit to them in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Danielle. This was a great conversation, and I hope that you'll join me again.
Yeah.
And to our listeners, I hope you check out our website at firstalliancecu.com, and you can find out more about all of the products and services we talked about today, and find out more about teaching your kids financial literacy on our blog, or on our YouTube channel. So hit the like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.